All right, we're near the 20-game mark with the James Harden era Clippers, so let's talk about them really quick because when that 5-game losing streak was happening and all the takes were coming out, let me tell you, some of those takes from YouTubers, media members, etc. have just aged like milk. When I did my James Harden trade reaction video, my only qualms with the Clippers were that I just don't think they're going to beat the Nuggets in the playoffs. And I was interested to see how the defense was going to work. And, you know, with Harden, he's still a great passer, still a great off-the-dribble shooter. Was he going to take catch-and-shoot threes? He seems to be doing that more now, at least in the Clippers games that I've caught, and I've tried to catch a lot of Clippers games. But, you know, everybody got their jokes off, including me, during the 5-game losing streak, but I thought it was fair to give them 15 to 20 games. I know Ty Lue said give them 10 games and he'll figure it out, and look, it seems like he had figured it out within those 10 games, but I wanted to give the Clippers 15 to 20 games. JJ Redick and Tim Legler were talking about it on the Old Man in the 3 YouTube channel and saying 20 games was fair. That's completely fair, and boy, the Clippers look good. The main takeaways for me, because I don't want to do like an over-sweeping big picture thing with the Clippers yet, because it is still December, but they look really good right now. First things first, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George have played together in every game this season, all 23 games. Well, Paul George didn't play in the 24th game tonight against the Warriors, where the Clippers won. Hopefully that groin injury isn't too serious, but the main thing is Kawhi Leonard has been playing, and he has been looking more and more like Kawhi with each passing game. James Harden looks comfortable, more comfortable, as he acclimates to his teammates. That's number 2 for me. Number 3, actually, is going back to James Harden. His rim finishing, I've noticed, has drastically improved compared to his Brooklyn days, post hamstring pull, and the Sixer days where he was just smoking layups and I couldn't trust him to make a layup. He seems to be getting back to finishing at the rim, at least with some regularity. And also, James Harden, always been a great passer, so guys like Zubac are benefiting. He's getting Kawhi shots in his proper spots, and Harden is just flat out shooting the ball off the catch. He is shooting more catch-and-shoot threes this year compared to the previous 3 seasons. Not historically a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter, but 24% of his three-pointers, 24.7% of his three-pointers, are catch-and-shoot three-pointers, and he's shooting 41.3% on them. He is shooting still really good on pull-up threes. He had that step back working against the Warriors. And going back to the rim finishing, Harden has now upped his frequency going to the rim. Over 23% of his shots are at the rim. And more importantly, he is shooting 59.4% on those attempts, which is easily the highest it's been compared to the last few years. So Harden has it working offensively right now. Paul George is also starting to play better. He started off the year really well, but also the previous 7 games before the Sacramento game, he was shooting 39%, but starting to at least play better. Still really good on defense. Again, we'll have to wait and see what that groin injury looks like. But Russell Westbrook also playing well off the bench. There were a few times early on in this James Harden run where Ty Lue opted not to close games with Westbrook, and he actually has been closing more games recently. Norm Powell, still really fucking good. Norm Powell's underrated, man. Daniel Tice was also a solid pickup for the Clippers. When he got released from the Pacers, it was like, oh, okay, he's going to go to the Clippers and be a nice backup to Zubac, and he has been. So, nice job for the Clippers picking him up. Some numbers the last few weeks. They are now 11-3 in their last 14 games. Their last 10 games, they rank 6th in offensive rating at 120.1 points per 100. And their defense has remained in the top 6. They are 6th right now, giving up 112.1 points per 100 possessions. A lot of that is Kawhi, PG. Everybody is playing well. Even Harden has been playing well defensively relative to Harden. And against the Warriors tonight, he was really good. But I think with Harden in general, the effort has been there. The rotations have been quick. There is still times where if an offensive player makes a second move on Harden, he kind of just olays it. But if you're just talking about general effort, which I thought was an area where I questioned Harden, he's been playing well. So has Russell Westbrook. And then you got 2 elite wings defensively flanking. That also really helps. So the Clippers have been playing much more crisp basketball lately. They did have a nice win over the Nuggets. They did have, now 2 nice wins over the Warriors. One of them where they came back from like 27 down. Also had a really good win on the road against the Sacramento Kings. A nice win against Luka and the Mavericks. They definitely got a few get-right games against Houston and then San Antonio back-to-back, but this was one of the reasons why I wanted to wait before I gave like a huge take on the Clippers. I know the 5-game losing streak, they were looking bad to start, like really bad. And, I get it. The urge to, comment on that and make content was strong. But I was willing to give it 20 games because, look, at the end of the day, as much as I wanted Harden gone, a lot of that was because I wanted to see the ball in Maxi's hands, and I just did not think a backcourt of Maxi and Harden could not work long term. Harden is still a good player. He is still a great passer, a really good three-point shooter. And if this rim finishing is real, that kind of adds an extra element for the Clippers because I was not expecting the rim finishing to come back. I was actually expecting it to decline. Even last year when his hamstring was better and Harden did have a little bit more of a pop, I still wasn't expecting the finishing to get better because he has lost some burst. He's not Houston quick anymore, Houston athletic anymore. But his improved finishing kind of changes a little bit for the Clippers. Could they make the Western Conference Finals? Absolutely. I actually think the Nuggets are in the tier of their own. I know that they are not first in the West right now in terms of the standings, but with the road schedule they had starting the season, they are entering a soft part of their schedule now. I think I saw a tweet where the Nuggets have the easiest schedule now in the NBA, and they're going to start playing a lot of their home games. I expect the Nuggets to make a run. I just think the Nuggets are in a different tier from everybody in the West. The next tier is everybody else below them, and I think the Clippers can easily get in that mix and get in the Western Conference Finals, but I don't think they're beating the Nuggets, which is what I said when the Harden trade happened. I still thought this was going to be a good regular season team that could maybe make a deep playoff run because, look, the West is really jumbled, but if you're talking about coming out of the West, which means to me beating the Nuggets, I just don't see it happening. But sometimes with this stuff, you just got to be patient. And those early Clipper takes during the 5-game losing streak have aged like milk.